In the Field updates on Market Journal are supported by the Nebraska Corn Board. Well, we begin by checking in on our In the Field progress with Dusty Staab as we learn about their unique operation, again, not far from Ord. Dusty, excited to learn about your operation. One of the unique things we're going to talk about is you guys are organic when it comes to your corn and soybeans. Tell me a bit about the operation and your involvement.
So I'm a fourth-generation farmer. We've started doing organic probably about 2004 is when we started. We've kind of just narrowed it down to a few crops. We raise organic white corn and organic soybeans, and all of our forage that you see is also organic.
Okay. Bring me back, I guess, to that 2004 timeline. You probably weren't involved in the decision, but what were some of the factors that made you guys go that route?
We really didn't spray any chemicals on, and one of our agronomists was like, hey, you know, you guys already certify organic, so you guys might as well get the price benefit out of it. So that was kind of the main deciding factor right there, and ever since then, we just been doing it that way.
I mentioned we're near Ord, Nebraska, and people are always quick to look for where's the market for organic stuff. So for you all, particularly your corn, where are you taking that?
The corn, we take it clear down to Gothenburg at Clark Specialty Grain. It's about the only spot in the state that actually markets white corn, organic white corn. Everywhere else that we've tried to find a market with, no one really deals with that side of it. So it's about the only one we got.
Yeah. In general, pretty good premium for organic crops?
Yeah. For the most part, I think our organic white corn is contracted about $11, $11.50 delivered.
How about for soybeans? What's the price for organic?
Soybeans, I think right now is around 25 to 26. That's based off of out of schooler and spots that we take them in Fremont.
So talk to me about growing organic crops in terms of your yields. How close are you to conventionally grown? I suppose some of your neighbors probably growing conventional. You pretty close to where they're at?
You know, it was definitely a big trial and error run that we've kind of critiqued all the way through the years. I mean, for 21 years, I hope we can kind of figure it out. To begin with, though, our yields were definitely a lot lower. But in the recent, 5 years, we kind of figured out a good cultivation program and a good rotational that we've actually, I'd say, almost matched conventional bushels.
I'll ask you about your cultivation because that's what's happening behind us today, but let's back up. Planting season for 2024, where do you sit today?
We actually got all of our corn planted. We still have a few acres of beans left that it rained, so we kind of had to stop. It's been kind of a long planting season, trying to get everything in, but we got it in, so we're happy about that. And usually for our cultivation program, we usually cultivate 2, maybe 3 times a year, depending on what the field looks like, what the weeds are doing. But usually we actually cultivate 1 time before the crop is even up, because it kind of just stirs that soil up and stops all the weeds from growing before the corn gets up.
The cultivator you're using not only has the GPS, but you've got a camera on the back that's always sensing things.
Yep, we have an Einbach cultivator. They have a nice camera system that it reads the patterns of the corn when it's growing. Obviously right now you're not going to be reading anything for patterns, but it follows along the corn as it's growing, and kind of just reads like how tall the corn is, how far away they're planted, so that it sets up the cultivator and adjusts to that pattern.
We talked about some rain interfering with your planting. Nobody's going to cuss the rain, especially in April, in early May. Where do you guys sit moisture-wise? You happy with where you're at right now? I'm
definitely happy currently, but I mean, if the rain quits raining at the end of the week, I mean, we'll be right back in the drought. Yeah. You know, we've added a little bit of subsoil moisture, but it won't be there for long.
Are most all your acres under a pivot?
Everything that we grow on corn is in beans.
And in the field we're in right now, you got your pivot corners, kind of a different blend of some forages for your cattle operation too, right?
Yep. We have a lot of native grasses, alfalfa, some clover in there, stuff like that we usually bale up and feed to the cattle.
Beyond weed control, what's the biggest challenge in the organic space?
I'd say a lot of finding the markets. Once you get in a market, you're set. But to get into like this white corn market, you really got to almost know somebody to get into it. I mean, Schooler does a pretty good job of getting contracts out, but I mean, a lot of those companies, once they're got their limit, that's all they do. And so that's a little challenging.
Is finding seed a challenge at all?
In recent years it was, but in the last, the last 3 or 4 years, Pioneers came out with a lot of white corn seed that is non-conventional that we can use. It doesn't really need to be organic seed, but it has to be non-treated.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the overview. Fun to learn a little bit more about the organic space. What are you most looking forward to with the 2024 growing season?
It's just the end of the year, the yield.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, yeah. Hoping for a lot of more moisture, and we've had a good calving season, so we've been very blessed this year for everything.